Watch this.
Budget cuts are coming to some schools in Canyon County, and schools are set to close and staff set to be let go. We're following the major decisions that will likely change the look of public schooling. On this day in 1980, Idaho had a major premiere on the big screen, the debut of Bronco Billy, filmed right here in the Treasure Valley. Maybe you were there. Well, one former KTVB reporter found himself on the silver screen. The Kardboard Kids have a new hit rolling through town. Talk about creativity to fill the summer. Beats riding a bike around the neighborhood. It is budget season, and local school districts are finalizing what the upcoming school year will look like for staffing and programs. We are joined now by Aspen Chumpert, who's going to break down the cuts that, have been made and the cuts that are coming. Aspen, I know there's a lot of attention in our communities about this. I mean, really changing how schools will work.
Yeah, and as a result of supplemental levies not passing and school districts also not receiving the same amount in state funding, we're seeing a lot of school districts go through their budget right now. Just last night, Caldwell School District made their budget cuts, making $5.5 million in cuts. 60 jobs were lost in these budget cuts, including positions like school aides and school resource officers. One of the oldest elementary schools in the district, Lincoln Elementary, will also close. Those students will attend one of the 5 other elementary schools in the district. As for the teachers at that school, most will transfer to other schools and openings within the district. Also, all 5th and 6th graders will attend Jefferson Middle School, and all 7th and 8th graders will be at Syringa Middle School.
Thankfully, I still have my job. I know Lincoln still has their jobs, but they're also leaving their home school and their safe place that they've been a long time, and my heart does truly go out to them.
Similar to Caldwell, the Kuna School District will also be making their budget cuts and approvals at their board meeting tonight. Although they need to make up for $5.7 million over the next 2 years, they are starting with just making $2.5 million worth of cuts for next school year. Kuna School District says those cuts include closing the annex building at Hubbard Elementary. Kindergarten classes and district special education preschool classes will move from that annex building into the main building, which will make that main building at Hubbard Elementary School full. They say all staff will remain at the school, but the Community Head Start preschool will be displaced. Other cuts are in reductions in curriculum spending, no more early release busing for middle schools, and not giving student device replacement. Kuna says regarding staffing, 5 district office positions will be cut, 10 non-classroom school administrative positions, and 5 classroom teaching positions. So as for the other $3.2 million they need to make up for, any changes and cuts would be discussed at a later date because they won't be making those until the 2025 and 2026 school year. So, Joe, there you have it.
I know that there's a lot of folks in our community that are going to want to watch this in real time. How can you stream this? How can you watch?
Yeah, so tonight you can either attend in person at Kuna's district office. Again, it starts at 6:30 p.m. If you can't make it in person, you can also stream it on their YouTube channel.
And of course, our news team will be following the coverage for the next several days. Big decisions to be made out in Canyon County. Aspen Chumpert, appreciate your time. All right, some other news for you here in the 208. The results are in for yet another election recount. Don't worry, though, this one was scheduled. Today, the Canyon County Elections Office, they did recounts on 4 elections from the May 21st primary. They scheduled the recounts to increase transparency and to improve voter confidence. Here's the good news. They say there were no changes to the elections seen on your screen. The system worked perfectly. Around the 208, we've got some news and notes for you, including a 41-year-old man who was found shot and killed in Owyhee County on Saturday. The Owyhee County Sheriff's Office says that they were called to a home on Rocky Top Lane around 2 p.m. When they got there, they say they found a man dead from the gunshot wound. Here's the 411.
A 41-year-old man was found shot and killed in Owyhee County on Saturday. The Owyhee County Sheriff's Office says they were called to a home on Rocky Top Lane around 2 p.m. When they got there, they found the man dead from one gunshot wound. Suspect 29-year-old Christian Price was arrested and charged with manslaughter. He's currently in the Owyhee County Jail. His preliminary hearing is set for June 18th.
So not having enough room for those patients, that's a really critical issue from a community health perspective.
Vice President of St. Luke's Dennis Nasario says Idaho is the 6th lowest bed per capita in the country, which is why St. Luke's broke ground today on their downtown Boise campus development project. The new facility will include 80 additional beds, 27 new operating rooms, and a 180,000 square foot plaza. St. Luke's is also working on a telehealth and a hospital home project that will allow patients to access doctors from the comfort of their home. The Boise campus is scheduled to be done in 2029. The Federal Emergency Management Agency said President Joe Biden approved Idaho for a major disaster declaration to help with recovery efforts from a severe storm in April. The storm caused flooding, landslides, and mudslides in Idaho, Lewis, and Shoshone counties that caused about $6.6 million in damage. The federal government will give those areas federal disaster assistance to help repair or replace damaged facilities. FEMA said federal funding is also available for hazard mitigation measures statewide. We know it's summer, but it's never too early to start thinking about free food. And starting this new school year, all Boise School District students can get free breakfast, and some schools will provide free lunch. The district says it's part of their approved budget for the upcoming school year. They say it's expected to bring a number of benefits, including improved academic performance and general health. Speaking of free food, the Idaho Food Bank is hosting a community food distribution tomorrow in Nampa. Head out to the Ford Idaho Center for free food from 11 to 2:30 or until food runs out. There are no qualifications, just show up. If you're unable to make it, check out the Idaho Food Bank's website to find a food pantry near you. And that's the 411 on the 208. I'm Jude Binkley.
An iconic movie filmed in the Boise area premiered on this day 44 years ago. So we thought we'd bring back one of the stars in the movie. A small star, but also a star at KTVB. Tell us all about his extra role in the film. Have you seen Bronco Billy? Maybe you were even in it. Tell us about it, or tell us about really anything, questions, comments, whatever's on your mind. You can send them in to our text line at 208-321-5614. Please include your name and hashtag the 208. At the end of the show, we'll get to as many of these as we can live. On this day in 1980, the Treasure Valley hit the silver screen in a big way. Clint Eastwood's Bronco Billy hit theaters across the country. The film was shot across the Treasure Valley over 2 months in the fall of 1979, from Boise all the way up to Ontario, Oregon. Clint Eastwood wasn't the only familiar face that appeared in the film.
Bronco Billy! Are those real bullets?
Clint Eastwood's Bronco Billy tells the story of a struggling stuntman trying to make it big with his traveling Wild West show. The real-life traveling show landed here in Boise.
Look right up here, guys.
Production of the major motion picture. Early on in Eastwood's career,
They lined the main street of Meridian.
Idahoans flocked just to get a glimpse of the action. Hundreds of folks ended up being extras in the film.
All right, everybody up against the wall.
Like this scene, a foiled robbery of a Meridian bank.
Newsbeat 7, Mr. Bronco.
God, he looks young.
KTVB reporter Roger Simmons ended up in the film, playing a local reporter interviewing Bronco Billy McCoy.
When I forgot my second line, I said, "What's the guy's name?" He goes, Collerton. You know, get it right. You only have 2 lines.
Simmons was on the crime beat at News Channel 7, chasing down some of the biggest stories to be told. He found a unique angle that landed him in the thick of production that captured the community's interest.
I was going to do a feature on a gal that had quit her job at MK, real good job, to be Sandra Locke's stand-in.
What Simmons didn't know, KTVB General Manager Bob Kruger had met the director of the film on a flight into Boise. There, they struck a deal.
He was going to try to find a station that had a live van. Well, back then, Channel 7 was the only station that had a live van. And so Bob said, "Boy, do I have a deal for you." And he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'd like to borrow a reporter and a photographer."
The director and producer stopped by KTVB to visit. Simmons thought they were simply setting up an interview with Clint Eastwood. But after a series of questions like, "Are you part of the Actors Guild?" Simmons asked a critical question.
"What the heck's going on here? Why are you asking me all these questions?" And he goes, "Well, you're going to be in the movie." That was when I found out I was going to be in the movie. They'd never said anything to me.
Act like a reporter, they said.
Days later, the KTVB reporter was on set, along with hundreds of Idahoans. The scene, the aftermath of a failed bank robbery.
They gave me a sheet of paper with my 2 lines, maybe about 10 minutes before we did the shoot. And so I'm trying to memorize these 2 lines. They weren't that tough.
Oh, here's Mr. What's his last name? See it?
Like I said, I forgot the only line.
The movie went on to make close to $25 million, and Simmons got his small part. He initially made a few $100s, but he says a chunk of it went to the Screen Actors Guild. But he remembers getting a funny phone call from his wife.
And she said, "I got an envelope here with from the Screen Actors Guild. You want me to open it?" "Sure." She opens it and she said, "There's a check in here." I said, "How much is it for?" And she goes, I think it was like $1,500 or something like that. I went, "Oh, well, now I don't feel as bad about having to join the Screen Actors Guild." And I still get residuals. Of course, they've gone down. I mean, they kept going down. And I think my last check was for $6.25 or something like that, yeah.
All morning they waited.
Financially, the production in the Valley was a major boon.
It was huge. In fact, it's still, you know, people still talk about it, and you know, when it was being filmed, they spent a lot of money here. That production company, you'd see them out about town, you know, spending money.
The quickest hombre this side of the Pecos. That's Bronco Billy.
That is so cool to see the News Channel 7 logo there with Clint Eastwood. Anywho, there were more than 1,500 Idaho locals that were cast in Bronco Billy. Maybe you were there. We would love to see any pictures or memories that you have from that day, or any days that you might have been near the filming. And if you watch the movie today, you may recognize some 1979 versions of local icons like the Boise Depot, the old Ada County Courthouse, the Ranch Club, the Big Pine, and the Hungry Onion. As you are probably aware, though, some of those spots now really only exist in film and picture. Also, by the way, since we're just talking about films that came out today, today is also the anniversary of the release of a little movie called Napoleon Dynamite. Yes, it debuted nationwide 20 years ago today. That socially awkward teenager from Preston, oh, he had a big screen debut. We have some pretty talented people in our community, including 2 kids making creations out of cardboard. Call them the Cardboard Kids. Their latest invention, a Ford Raptor that may or may not have withstood the weekend heat. What are your favorite inventions out there? We'd love to hear about them, or maybe something else related to the show. Text us at the number on your screen. It's 208-321-5614. Please remember to include your name and hashtag the 208. Keep your messages clean, concise, and clever so we can show them live at the end of the show.
I don't know about you, but I am glad that we still have some of those spring flowers and lots of green to take in. Some of the foothills area starting to get a little bit more brown as we have this heat and more summer-like temperatures. But in this view in Sun Valley, you can see lots of green in the foreground there. And of course, green on the golf course in the foreground there. But as we look forward to the next few days, we may be seeing more of those hot temperatures. We will be seeing more of those hot temperatures and warm conditions sticking around. We get a little bit of a break tomorrow, but check out what we've seen so far today. You can see 90s in many valley areas and close to the 80s in the mountains, exceeding 80s over in Haley and warm in the Magic Valley also. And I mentioned tomorrow we get a little bit of a break, but that only takes us down into the mid to upper 80s for valley areas, but also the breezy conditions will be coming back for Valley, so that will help make it feel a little bit cooler. And also there will be ample sunshine tomorrow, so a lot more, less areas to hide under with that shade. So when we talk about the winds, it's definitely on the lower end of what we can see for some of those wind gusts. So it'll be noticeable for you. So if you're doing anything outside, like having a picnic and you have paper plates and napkins, just know those may run away from you a little bit more, but in general, for what we can see, pretty mild as far as wind goes. But here's the temperatures that we're looking at for the next few days. You can see 86 is expected tomorrow. We bump back up on Thursday, 92, and then we stay on the hot side, but just a touch cooler on Friday. You can see that we do have a couple systems to our north. This low pressure in particular will be staying to the north, and you can see more of the storm activity happening because of that low pressure and the cooler air associated with it. But for right now, our area clear with lots of that sunshine. So you can see those fluctuating temperatures all the way through Friday, but then come Saturday, we have a big cool down in store. So we will be seeing more mild temperatures, and there will be more winds associated with that. For right now, they look to be on the breezy side, but they do have the potential to be a little bit on the stronger side as well. So that's something that we'll continue to watch for. And that's part of the reason why those are both first alert weather days, because it's a big drop in temperatures, and we'll be tracking some of those winds, and also really nice relief from some more of the heat that we've seen. And the 70s look to stick around through much of the end of your 7-day forecast.
All right, today is not the only day hitting above average temperatures. We're still in the hottest stretch of weather that we've seen so far this year. Saturday, it had a high temperature of 90s, which was well above normal, and the average is about 70 degrees for this time of year. But no problem. It threw a little bit of a wrench into the plans of two young engineers. The Boyle cousins built a complex creation like a spaceship, Halloween costumes, and a truck. They do it all out of cardboard. They call themselves the Kardboard Kids. Perfect name. And this past Saturday, they debuted their Ford Raptor at the Hawkins Packout in Boise. KTVB photojournalist Ali Saidi got the scoop.
The car's name is a Ford Raptor. It doesn't have an engine. It's powered by foot, and there are also skateboards that you can't see. No gym needed.
Exactly.
My name is Logan Boyle, and I'm 14 years old.
My name is Ethan Boyle, and I am 14 as well.
Whenever we are like signaling, raise your hand whichever way you're going.
Whenever we want to use our horn, we just yell or something like that. So I can only use my car at the daytime in the summer, because at night we can't drive because we have no lights.
Just leave it, Ethan, just leave it.
We might need tape, Logan.
It's so hot. We did stop working on the car for around like 3 months because we just got tired of it.
The glue is wet.
And the glue ran out 3 times. We had to refuel a bunch of times with a bunch of glue. So it did take us a lot longer than we thought.
Can we get him? Oh no.
Ah! I'm getting squished, lift it higher! I'm dying! I can't! I was getting squished. It's not going as well as planned because it has been melting because it is super hot outside. What's happening? I can't see.
Ethan, what did you do with the skateboards? Why are they crooked?
They've been cooking because it's hot. This is just embarrassing.
We're making it.
Okay, that's good. This is good.
Cheers.
Woo! Ting. Creating cardboard is really fun because when I first started, I started in a tiny little room, and I just kind of built off that, and it's been really fun because I would get to hang out with cousins and spend time, and we get to see the final after product and destroy it afterwards, and it's just fun.
You did it! You did it!
So at least you got ice cream.
Yeah, but not the car. He didn't survive too well.
What's happening for your car?
We got in a crash, so we had to get it towed. Did not go very well, but it worked. Like destroying the things because it's just entertaining, and it's more fun making the memories than just not doing anything with it and then just being lonely, I guess.
So as you saw, the Kardboard Kids report that sadly the truck was totaled on its debut drive, but they're already scheming their next project, a pirate ship to float down the canal. You can find the Kardboard Kids on their YouTube channel. It's Kardboard Kids with a K, and just make sure that you type in Kardboard for the Kardboard Kids. We'll be back. All right, let's do the comments. This person says, budgets are moral documents, vote statements of value. CUNA in Idaho cares about keeping taxes low, not educating or feeding young people. That from Tony. Another comment coming in here on the budget stuff. Republican Playbook says this viewer starve the public schools and then say insufficient and need charter schools and vouchers. Yeah, certainly a battle we'll be watching in the legislature. If you're upset about the lack of school funding in Idaho, please quit re-electing the same GOP legislators who failed to adequately fund Idaho schools. That's from Jack in Boise. Some Bronco Billy comments here. My mother, Joanne Myers, was the lady they threw across the lobby of the bank in Bronco Billy. She worked at the bank, which was the Farmers and Merchants Bank in Meridian. That's a fun fact. When Bronco Billy was filmed here, I worked at Hewlett-Packard, and a bunch of us went to be in the movie when they were filming the carnival scene. I never could find myself in the movie, but we got a great picture of Clint Eastwood himself, some great times with coworkers, and great memories. Carolyn in Caldwell, thank you for that one. That's a fun one. Certainly fun that Bronco Billy was filmed in the Treasure Valley, but referring to it as an iconic film feels like a stretch. Laughing out loud, Dale. Yeah, maybe it's just iconic here locally. That's fair. The person says here on the Cardboard Kids, what an awesome display of ingenuity and creativity. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, Cardboard Kids. Very nice job. And this last one, so we went back to that. So I will say we got a lot of great comments coming in from Bronco Billy. That was a lot of fun. We'll hopefully get through some more of your comments another time. But I will say, going back to Dale's comment, yeah, Bronco Billy, not regarded as Clint Eastwood's best film ever.